This is a two-part video on horizontal directional drilling operations and safety. The first part presents horizontal directional drilling machine operation and safety, while the second part presents safe operation of directional boring tracking equipment. In addition to the two parts of this video, there is a guidebook containing information and exercises that reinforce the concepts presented. This is part 1 of 2-part video on horizontal directional drilling operation and safety. This section presents selected operation and safety practices for Vermeer directional drilling equipment during setup, boring, reaming, and pullback. When used properly, your Vermeer Navigator horizontal directional drill will give you many hours of productive service. It is equipped with useful safety features to help protect you from serious injury. But safe work practices are also a necessary part of accident prevention. You must exercise caution and use good judgment. Your safety and the safety of other crew members depends on it. This video is not a substitute for a thorough and complete reading and understanding of the machine operator's manual and its safety instructions. Before operating the machine, always read the operator's manual, know its content, and follow its instructions. All crew members and operators of Vermeer horizontal directional drilling machines must understand the entire directional drilling process. Everyone must follow safe operating procedures so that the horizontal directional drilling projects are completed safely and successfully. Allow only responsible, properly trained people to operate the machine. Carefully supervise any inexperienced operators. Advise anyone who will operate it to read the operator's manual carefully and study this two-part safety video and its accompanying guidebook. Additional training material is available from your authorized independent Vermeer dealer. Personal protective equipment must be worn while operating a directional drill. Always wear a hard hat and safety glasses. A highly visible safety vest must be worn on job sites near traffic. Electrical insulated personal protective equipment helps protect the operator and crew if there is an electrical strike. Seated operators of Vermeer directional drills are required to wear electrical insulated boots, but are not required to wear insulated gloves. The tracking equipment operator and anyone else working near the boring head and along the bore path must wear lineman's boots throughout the directional drilling operation. This is important since the ground above the drill string and near the machine can become electrically charged if a strike occurs. Anyone placing the voltage stake in the ground, or anyone standing on the ground and touching the machine while the machine is operating, must wear both electrical insulated boots and gloves. Some machines have a seated position for driving the machine. These machines have rollover protection and seat belts. It is important to always wear the seat belt when driving the machine. It will help protect you in a rollover by keeping you inside the protection of the rollover protective structure. Wearing the seat belt will also protect you from being thrown from the seat if the machine suddenly changes position on uneven ground. When unloading a machine from a trailer, be sure the trailer is on level ground and drive slowly off the ramps. Do not unload the machine if the trailer surface is slippery, which could cause the machine to slide off the trailer. Before you start drilling, there are a number of procedures that must be done to prepare your job site and the machine. Place 4 safety cones approximately 6 feet from the corners of the drilling fluid mixing system and the drilling unit. Position the cones with the safety signs facing outward to warn approaching spectators or other workers to stay away since the area could become electrically charged. Only allow properly trained personnel wearing appropriate personal protective equipment inside this defined area. Test the strike alert system on the Vermeer horizontal directional drilling machine. It is designed to sound an alarm if you contact an electrical source so that you can take appropriate action. It does not warn you before making a strike. Do not operate the machine unless the strike alert system is fully operational. Follow your operator's manual for complete test and setup instructions. You must wear electrical insulated personal protective equipment appropriate for your style machine when staking down the machine. When operating the machine, remain seated with your feet on the platform at all times while boring. This helps protect you from electric shock. Keep all workers and spectators away from the drill. The machine is equipped with a radio-controlled remote lockout system for the crew at the exit end of the bore. When activated, the lockout command prevents drill stem rotation and thrust and flow of drilling fluid. Turn on the handheld remote lockout transmitter and test the run and lockout functions. Pressing the green Run button will transmit a command to place the drilling machine into the run mode. Confirmation that the machine is in run mode is indicated by the green lamp on, steady, and the audible alarm sounding for 2 seconds. Pressing the red Lockout button will transmit a lockout command to the drilling machine. The green Run lamp will change from steady to a flashing mode until the drilling machine sends a confirmation signal that the machine has successfully been locked out. Only after confirmation has been received at the remote handheld transmitter will the flashing green lamp go off, and the red lockout lamp turns on steady. An audible indication of 3 short beeps, repeated 3 times, will sound when the lockout has been successful. If lockout is unsuccessful, the red lamp will not come on, the audible horn will sound continuously for 60 seconds, and the handheld transmitter will vibrate. Test it for proper function before operating the machine. This test procedure is explained in the instructions provided in the operator's manual. Test your communication system. Use good quality two-way radios with sufficient communication range. Remember, miscommunication while using two-way radios can result in unplanned drill stem and tool startups, possibly resulting in death or serious injury. To avoid confusion, the radio at the exit location must be assigned to one person. This is the designated person who must always communicate with the machine operator. Communicate by name to avoid confusion. Received messages must always be confirmed as correct by repeating the message back to the sender. The sender must always require confirmation that the message was received and sent. When selecting tools for your drill, only use tools and accessories which are approved by Vermeer Manufacturing Company. Larger machine models use tooling which couples directly to the drill string without a starter rod. All other machines are manufactured with hex collar or spline lock connections. These machines must only be used with hex collar or spline lock tools or accessories. These connection systems do not require pipe wrenches or a powered breakout device to change tools. This eliminates the potential hazard of being struck by the wrench if unexpected drill string rotation occurs. Do not substitute other kinds of connection systems unless you are running a mud motor. Fluid flow specifications for mud motors may not be compatible with the spline lock design. For best performance, you may need to directly couple the mud motor to the drill string. When attaching a direct coupled or hex collar drill head assembly to your machine, do not hold the tool and use the rotation of the machine to connect the drill head assembly. Shut off the machine and then spin the tool onto the drill stem by hand. Hex collar connections must then be secured using the hex collar. Tools with a direct coupled connection must be tightened using the power vise on the drill. Never use pipe wrenches or tongs to add or remove direct coupled tooling or drill stem at the machine. Always use the vise on the machine to loosen or tighten these joints. Serious injury or death can occur if the drill stem rotation starts and you are struck by the wrench. If a wrench is attached to the drill stem, it can rotate quickly and with great force. If the wrench strikes you, serious injury or death will occur. Or if you are caught in the rotating drill stem or rotating tooling, you will not be able to release yourself. If drill stem thrust occurs, you could be crushed or impaled. While drilling or back reaming, it is very important to stay away from any exposed drill stem or drilling tools. Entanglement in the rotating drill stem and cutting tool will result in death or serious injury. This can happen very quickly and you will not be able to free yourself once you are caught. Do not wear loose clothing, which is more likely to catch on rotating equipment. An exposed reamer at the exit side can quickly crawl sideways if rotation is started while it is laying on top of the ground away from the exit hole or pit. It is important to pull the reamer up to the exit hole before rotation is started. It is also very important to keep all spectators and unauthorized people away from the machine and exposed drill stem. It is essential that the machine is locked out before changing tools, adding or removing drill stem, or doing any other work on the drill stem or tools at the exit end of the pilot bore. When using the remote lockout system, first communicate to the operator that you intend to lock out the machine. Then, lock out the machine by pressing the red lockout button. After pressing the red button, you will receive signals from the handheld transmitter indicating that the lockout attempt was either successful or unsuccessful. If you do not receive a confirmation that the lockout was successful, you must assume that the drill system function is not locked out. If conditions exist that prevent the remote lockout transmitter from establishing communication with the drilling machine, you must lock out the machine by using two-way voice radios to communicate a stop command to the machine operator and requiring confirmation of the message. The ignition key must then be delivered to the place where the work on the drill stem is being done. The key must remain in this location until the work is complete. When you have completed the pilot bore, there are some essential safety precautions to follow when changing tooling or pulling in product. Don't take shortcuts and risk being injured or killed if the drill stem rotates or moves unexpectedly. Always lock out the machine before working on or near the exposed drill stem or tool. Never use machine drill stem rotation to change tooling or add drill stem. Entanglement in a rotating drill stem or cutting tool will result in death or serious injury. After the machine has been locked out, the drill head may be removed and reamer attached. The spline lock connection does not require the use of pipe wrenches or tongs. It requires only a hammer and punch to remove pins to disconnect the tooling. Remember, unexpected drill stem rotation will result in death or serious injury if you are struck by a wrench. Likewise, hex collar connections do not require the use of pipe wrenches or tongs. Never replace hex collar or spline lock tooling with unauthorized tooling which requires the use of pipe wrenches or tongs. When using a hex collar connection, slide back the hex collar and spin off the drill head by hand. If your tooling is equipped with a direct coupled connection, such as when using a mud motor, a remote power breakout device will be required to loosen the joint between the drill stem and the tooling. It is recommended that you use this Vermeer breakout system available from your Vermeer dealer. It eliminates the use of long pipe wrenches or tongs, and its compact length reduces the chance of being struck if the drill stem rotates unexpectedly. If you do not purchase the Vermeer portable breakout system, it is strongly recommended that you select an alternate one which has a similar compact length. Regardless of which method you use, it is essential that you lock out the machine first. Before attaching a reamer, check to make sure that the swivel is functioning properly. The swivel must be properly lubricated and must turn freely by hand. A properly functioning swivel is essential for your safety since it prevents exposed trailing drill stem or the final product from rotating behind the reamer. An exposed rotating drill stem or product creates a serious risk of being entangled, or the drill stem can whip and strike you. Death or serious injury could be the result. If you are using a reamer with a built-in swivel, check it before attaching the reamer to the machine. If you are using an external independent swivel, check it before attaching it to anything. When checking that the swivel turns freely, it may be necessary to use a tool to loosen the swivel if the swivel has not been used for some time. But afterward, you must be able to turn it by hand. If you cannot turn it by hand, or if the trailing drill stem or product attached to the swivel rotates along with the reamer, the swivel must be repaired or replaced. When attaching a reamer with a spline lock connection, slide on the reamer and tap in the connecting pins. When attaching a reamer that spins onto the drill string, make sure that the threads are clean and lubricated. Then, spin on the reamer by hand and slide on the hex collar. If your machine uses direct coupled tooling, lock out the machine and use pipe wrenches to tighten the reamer to at least 400 foot-pounds. When attaching a heavy reamer, it is recommended that you use a Vermeer reamer carrier such as this one. It provides a convenient way to lift and position the reamer for attachment to the drill string. In addition, it makes it easier to spin on the hex collar or direct coupled tooling by hand. It can also be useful when aligning the spline lock connection. When pre-reaming, drill stem is often trailed in behind a smaller reamer before a larger reamer and the final product is pulled in. When adding drill stem, one method is to assemble as many drill stem on the ground as practical before you attach them to the reamer. Tighten each joint to at least 400 foot-pounds using pipe wrenches. Do this before attaching the drill string to the reamer. The next step is to attach a rod recycler adapter to the first rod. Then, make sure a properly functioning swivel is installed between the rod recycler adapter and the reamer. With the machine locked out, attach the trailing drill string to the reamer. Some external swivels can be incorrectly pivoted to an angled position. If the swivel is not straight, it might not swivel properly. Instead, it could turn like a crank. This will cause the drill stem or product being pulled in to turn and whip. Do not use this kind of swivel. Instead, use a swivel with limited articulation. This will keep the swivel in line with the drill string. When pulling in the trailing drill stem, it may be necessary to stop the pullback process and add additional trailing drill stem. Make sure the machine is locked out and attach the drill stem using pipe wrenches. Pipe wrenches may be used in this instance provided that the machine is locked out and the properly functioned swivel is installed. An alternate method of setting up for pre-reaming using trailing drill stem is to stop rotation when the pilot bore exits the ground. Position the drill bit to the 12 o'clock position so that the bit will slide onto the surface when being pushed. Then, without rotating the drill stem, continue thrusting while adding additional stem to the machine until the desired length of drill stem extends past the exit point. This allows you to use the power vise on the directional drill to tighten all the drill stem joints at the machine instead of using pipe wrenches at the exit end of the bore. It also reduces time spent handling drill stem. When you have determined where the reamer will be installed in the drill string, position or support the trailing drill stem to remove bending stress at the joint where the drill string will be separated. Then, lock out the machine and use a remote breakout device to loosen the joint. When the joint has been loosened, remove the portable breakout system and make sure there are no tools attached to the drill stem. Make sure everyone is clear of the entire drill stem. Then, use the drilling machine to slowly rotate in reverse until the joint is completely separated. Then, without rotating, slowly pull back the drill string until enough separation is available to insert the reamer and swivel. Then, as with the previous method, lock out the machine and install the reamer, swivel, rod recycler, and trailing drill stem. You are now ready to start pulling back. Clear all workers from the area and communicate to the machine operator that you are ready for the pullback to begin. After the machine operator confirms the message, press and hold the green run button for 2 seconds to permit the drill stem operation to resume. If the machine was locked out by delivering the ignition key to the exit side, clear all workers from the drill string and return the key to the machine operator. The operator must request permission to resume operation and require confirmation of the message. before resuming operation. Anytime you add additional drill stem, you must use this stop and restart procedure using the remote lockout system or delivering the key to the exit side. Repeat this sequence as many times as necessary until the reamer arrives at the machine. Remember, an exposed reamer at the exit side can quickly crawl sideways if rotation is started while it is laying on top of the ground, away from the exit hole or pit. Entanglement in the rotating drill stem and cutting tool will result in death or serious injury. It is important to pull the reamer up to the exit hole before rotation is started. When the reamer is at the exit hole, pull back with rotation can begin. When all pre-reaming is done, make sure the machine is locked out and attach the final product puller to the swivel. Make sure that the swivel turns freely as before. When you have completed the bore and it is time to remove the machine from the job site, make sure the site is properly cleaned up and free of hazards. Safe work practices when working with directional drilling machines are an important part of accident prevention. Do your part in following these procedures for your safety and that of your fellow workers. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, contact your dealer and certified Vermeer Navigator specialist.